Ding ding! Connect the dots. Welcome to another edition of Connect the Dots, a podcast that brings people to you from various walks of life, whether they are politicians, business people, they are career persons, etc., to make sure that they give us in-depth of their story, where they started from, those daring aspects of their lives that people don't know about. Because, success story is something that attracts a lot of people. They don't know where you started from. They just see oh, this person, boom, she's all over social media. And, because of the advent of social media, people don't really know people's struggle, because what we want people to see is what we post. So today we brought to you someone that is all-encompassing, a business person, an activist, a journalist, a TV host, a lot of things, and a politician. And a day job, I would say, is in the Senate, Nigerian Senate, the 9th Senate. And she's no one else but Fatima Zahra Umar, Mrs. And she's popularly known on social media as Zahra Danejo. And it's a very big privilege to have someone with all of this many caps to grace this edition. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much, because I know you've got really a tight schedule.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's people like you that give us the wings to fly all
Please
the time.
fly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you're wearing so many caps, and I know that as a northern lady, a Muslim, a mother, a wife, you're doing a lot of things. I know there is a question you don't like to be asked, but I'm going to throw it to you.
I don't like that question. I don't like that
Okay,
question.
the balance. I need to do it.
I don't like that. Okay, what do you want to say? Because it's like you just find yourself doing so many things. And I think roles overlap.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody asks men, how do you balance family life? I have these kids, I didn't have them alone.
Mm-hmm.
They have a father somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure people ask him whether, how do you balance
life and
because
work?
I'm sure we're a handful.
Yes.
So, I don't like that question, but it's you, so I'll answer it.
Yeah.
I don't really balance it. I kind of just manage my time very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just pray that, I hope I don't mess up.
Yeah.
And I can be very monomanic. Like, if I'm focused on something, it's all I think about.
You're able to focus on
yes, so I've been like that for a long time. So when family came, it was just just join the queue. Just join the queue. You just kind of find yourself. It's not the life that I planned for myself.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, the life I thought I was going to be living is, I'd have like a really nice civil service job with one tiny Toyota, just go to work 9 o'clock, close
by 5 p.m.
Come home, make dinner, watch Super Story in the house. But it was not. I did not plan to be carrying so many caps. Let me put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess again, my oversabi is much, so I want to be involved in a lot of things, and I feel like I can contribute to society.
Yeah.
A lot of things
To bring the change.
Exactly. So yeah, I went to school to become a lawyer. I did become a lawyer, but I ended up being a woman's lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
I somehow ended up doing cases for women in distress.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of became known for that.
Mm-hmm.
Women trying to get a divorce, women trying to get custody, women trying to escape from domestic violence, women seeking justice for their children that have been molested. Somehow, I don't know, I wanted to be a rich lawyer. I don't know. I just ended up doing all these cases.
Yeah, you're called for it.
Yeah,
I think humanity comes first.
I think so, because my first marriage, I was young, and then it ended badly. So it kind of, I was always this braggadocious, let me say. So I know what it's like to be voiceless and be helpless, and for society to look down on you.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that came out of that is divorce diaries. When I used to write divorce diaries, and how we started Jaruma and all that, I had to say something. I had to be, because I fought back.
Mm-hmm.
I refused to be kept down. I was not going to take nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So after I fought back, then your friends get divorced. You know what I'm saying? And what am I going to do to help my friend? And narratives, stories are powerful. So that's how I ended up doing divorce diaries. It started for my friend, a very dear friend of mine. She had gotten divorced, and I told her, we need to write this. and I was not expecting it to be as popular as it was. But then it became popular, and before we knew it, like it became an established series and all that. And then broadcasting.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be a broadcaster. My late dad, he used to work in Radio Borno in the 60s.
Oh, mashallah.
When he was young. Yeah, he was, they used to have something called duty announcer. So he used to play tapes for me when I was growing up, because he wanted me to enunciate words like a broadcaster. He wanted me to have good diction. So even before I went to school,
you're already doing.
Yes, because my father used to make me read. By the time I started going to school, I could read fairly well.
Wow.
And I could enunciate and diction. So we're Fulani. So my dad, you could not speak any other language apart from English or Fulfulde in the house.
Wow.
It's because of BBC Hausa I know how to speak Hausa. That's just the truth.
Oh my God.
Yes. But so I've always wanted to be like that. I've always been fascinated by radio, by TV. And when I was growing up, Oprah was on TV all the time.
Yeah.
Sally, Jesse, Raphael. And I wanted a show like Oprah. So fast forward 20-something years later, I'm somewhere in Abuja fighting for custody. And I get a call from BBC, and they're like, we really like what you're doing. We'd like you to bring that on a show. Can you do a pitch for us? I think at the time it was Isa Sanusi. So he said, but first I want to do an interview with you. So I went. I was so nervous. Like, I grew up listening to radio, so like these people that I hear their voices all the time.
Now you're with them.
Okay, Kira. Yeah, no. So it like it was oh my God. Yes, exactly. So after the interview, we did a pitch, and they liked it. At the time, I think it was G Mesale that gave us the name Adikon Zamani. And that's basically how it took off. So I just woke up one day, I'm practicing.
Wow.
I'm doing my activism.
You're doing your law?
I'm doing,
practicing law.
I'm practicing law. I'm doing my activism. Social media, I've always treated social media like a hobby. So
because we know you there.
I don't really take it that serious, to be honest, up till now. But like before I knew it, it was like, Zahra Danejo is all over the place. And then I read a book by Maya Angelou, and she was saying that if in your life you're always a teacher, and your life should be like a class. So you have to use your platforms to teach. And that stuck with me. And that is why I said, what, instead of just talking about how desperately I want a Mercedes-Benz and Ribena supply, I could use this platform for good.
I swear, is that Ribena thing?
It still goes back to my dad.
Oh my God.
I like Ribena because of him. And like, it's crazy now because I lost him in 2020. He died.
May Allah have mercy on his soul.
And Ribena now has a different significance for me. So he was the first person that introduced me to Ribena. It was his best drink, and he used to, so it's like all the best memories of my life are punctuated with a glass of Ribena. When I was growing up, we didn't have this ready to drink. You had to mix it, say anhada.
Yes, with water.
Yeah,
so that thick one.
He knew how to make like the perfect mix for me, for my taste. So as you can already say, I'm a daddy's girl.
Yeah,
so.
obviously.
So that's how I don't know, I just kind of ended up doing all these things. And because of my dealings with clients while practicing law, also my father, again, I feel really silly talking about this.
No, it's fine.
But totally my father was one of the people who founded PRP, the People's Redemption Party. So I grew up around political meetings in the house and political arguments and stuff like that. So it was just natural
for me
to somehow
incline towards.
Yes, somehow end up hanging around people that were politically inclined. And you can be an activist all you want, but you have to have a seat at the table.
Absolutely.
To kind of
make decisions.
Exactly.
Very key, important decisions. So
that's really just how I ended up.
Wow, this is a lot.
It's
a politician, a businesswoman, a social activist, I suppose.
The hustle is real.
It's real. Politics and all of that.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about a lot. You've try to summarize all you do like in this time that we've spent, but let's focus on law a little bit. You know, practicing law in Nigeria is somewhat tricky. That's the way I see it, because I'm a journalist too, and I know the way it is. Because you know the truth, and someone pay you to defend a false stuff or something like that.
That's not how it works. Let me correct this impression. So when it comes to courts, there is nothing like the truth.
Oh wow.
What is important is evidence and the strength of your argument.
Oh wow.
So you know, there's law and then there's morality. They are two different things. Sometimes they might overlap, but when it comes to the court, honestly, what happens is the person. So there's something we call a burden of proof. So if you have a case, if you don't satisfy that burden of proof, you may lose. May not get justice. You may not. But if you satisfy that burden of proof, you may get justice. Justice is not straightforward. It's not one of those things where it's A or B. Sometimes it can be A, but W is in the middle. You know, it's complicated. It's not as black and white as people outside say. When people say, oh, you know, you take money from criminals to defend them, there's a problem with that, because if you're in a democracy, you're being run under a constitution. And constitutionally, everybody is entitled to a defense. Everybody is entitled to defend themselves when they are being accused of something. Whether or not you agree with that is not relevant. But there is no way you would like bring someone to court and there won't be an advocate for him, because lawyers, that's what we are. We are advocates
for people.
Exactly. Sometimes, you know, it's confusing for lay people to say, but I got why did the judge? Sometimes it happens like that, but people also forget that there are two sides that are arguing. Think about it as like debates pro max. You remember debates in school? So it doesn't mean that the best debater actually believes what they're saying. It just means that they stated a better case. So I want people to stop this thing of the truth is no. When you go to court,
there is no
what
truth.
Determines what happens is the preponderance of evidence, the strength of the evidence, the admissibility of the evidence, and then the arguments that you accompany the evidence with. And what is also available under the law. So for example, there are things that are morally wrong but are legally not wrong. And they are not legally right also, but like they are not legally wrong. They may be immoral to us, you know, but you cannot send somebody to prison for those things, for example. So that's how law is. And practice is hard.
Wow.
If like, I want to say this for like maybe the young lawyers that are watching this, especially the women who are from the north. There's very few of us, and it's sad. Like in my class group in law school, there were like 9 of us that were from the north.
Wow.
Only 2 of us, let me just say, even only 1 of us is practicing full time, because me, I'm half
You're
time,
all over there. You're all over other
only
stuff.
One person. Everybody else has. It's very time consuming when you are starting out, and it's very hard and it pays little. People need to understand that. So stop billing your lawyer friends. We don't have money. It pays really little. You know, you finish law school, you have your degree, and you're being paid 50,000 naira in Abuja. You know, by the time you pay transport costs, what's left?
Nothing.
You know, I used to be able to only buy bend down select because I need to say to wear to court, because you know we have like what we have to wear.
It's much more like a uniform.
Exactly. And one of my friends was like, you don't have to be going to bend down select. If you have black abaya, they now allow black abaya. Thank God for Justice Mariam Aluma Mukhtar when she was CJS. So we started wearing our black abaya. So I can wear the black abaya for 3 days straight. Nobody will know. But lawyers, when you are starting out, there's no money. There's no money. You are paid very little, and you do all the foundational work that senior advocates go to court with.
Definitely.
And you're constantly like, Kisa is like an apprenticeship, you know. So you're constantly like at the beck and call of your organ.
True.
If you are lucky, you have an organ that's generous. Thank God for you.
If not,
sorry to you.
No.
So like I was one of those people that was going to there used to be this Bendel Select Market I used to go there every Sunday
to go and check
yes
for
that
suits.
was yeah I'll buy suits, I'll buy white shirts, I'll buy skirts, yes, sometimes even shoe. You have to wear court shoe because not every shoe they allow in court.
Yeah.
And then but I was lucky I had experience because like I told you I was divorced, and instead of sitting at home at the time I decided to go and look for a job, and I got an internship in a law firm, a very prestigious law firm. So I already had savings. By the time I came out of law school, I wasn't broke.
Oh wow.
I had been saving my salary from that internship.
Wow.
And what will amaze you is that the internship paid me more than when I was like a full-time lawyer.
That's the thing.
Yes,
That's the thing,
yes.
because I would say that for my NYC year, I was getting just 50,000 because 19.8 from federal government and 30K from my organization. When I got my first job was 40,000. I was like, whoa.
You see, so the internship was really sweet, and like it helped me do well, like in law school, because
it sharpened you.
Exactly. So at the time, I feel like I need to say this. At the time, you know how it is. You're divorced, and everybody's looking at you like it's your fault.
Yeah.
And you're like
that's
you're like a disgrace to the family. I'm the first in my family to get a divorce.
Oh my god.
I mean my family.
Yeah.
So everybody's talking about you. I needed to do well to prove to myself that I was worthy.
Yeah, you are.
I wanted to prove to myself. So whatever it took, I was going to do it.
That self-consciousness.
Yes.
I love the fact that you're taking it from myself,
yes.
not to please anyone or to prove anyone wrong.
So I stopped doing that. I didn't want to please anybody, but like I needed to prove to myself that, madam, you have to do well for yourself.
First.
You have to make sure that you're okay for yourself, and make sure that you do well, because these people don't like you anymore. Because when you are divorced, it's like a social displacement.
Yeah.
You don't belong with the young women.
You don't belong with the
married
women.
women.
Yeah.
So you are just there hanging. Yeah, Biki, you don't know
where to stand. Absolutely, you're just in between.
You are in between, and you feel like everybody's talking about you, and it's always your fault.
Yeah, usually.
So for me, like, I want to talk about this. If you are starting out, don't feel like you're missing anything. Life is in stages. I used to jump
it takes
bus
resilience. Wow.
I used to take
True.
Yeah, and I'm saying this also again. People might say that I come from a privileged background, but I still had to do those things for myself.
Because you want to do things for yourself.
Yes.
Because you would have just relaxed and say, "Oh, there is something to fall back on."
I did not wait for daddy to save me. I know. I saved myself.
That's really lovely.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
So I need, especially young women watching this, nobody's coming to save you.
At all. Nobody. You will be the one to save yourself.
Yeah.
So we'll go on a short break. When we return, we start with personality tests. The personality test is, yeah, it's really simple. We use tea flavors to know. But I know she's a Ribena person, so apparently we do Ribena. Yo, right. Welcome back to this podcast where we're talking and getting those daring moments aspect of Sister Mrs. Let me bring Mrs. because I don't want you guys to feel like there is an open door. It's important to me because I know there are people that are, looking around to know, who is the single lady and all of that.
I'm not single.
She's not single.
But I can mingle.
Yeah, she can. Business is open. Collaborations open. Everything you think you can do to bring money, the legal way, we're all open to that. So welcome back. We're together with Sister Fatima Zahra Umar, popularly known as Zahra Danejo, and she's been talking to us about the career path she chose, the journey to this point and all. So quickly, we are doing a personality test, and it's usually with tea bags flavor. And now that we know she's a Ribena person, oh my God, let's stick with yeah, I think I saw something like that. I'm not so sure, but you just choose between the flavor strawberry.
I don't like strawberry because I feel like Strawberries are a scammer fruit. You know how when we're growing up, strawberry flavor yogurt. The first time I ate a strawberry, I was so disappointed. Yes,
same,
like the actual strawberry.
Yeah.
So strawberries are cancelled.
It's kind of sour.
Yes, it's not sweet, and it doesn't even smell like that.
Yeah.
You know how the smell of do you know
the flavor?
You said you grew up in Kaduna.
Yes.
Do you remember Diza?
Yes, I do.
On that, is it Isa Kaita?
Yes, Isa Kaita Road.
No, it's not.
It's Isa Kaita Road.
The one that will take you to Jabi Road. That road now that will take you to Balarabe Musa's house. What's the name of that road? Badawaki Road, ba?
It's not. You know,
but
because I know the one you're talking about. You know, Abuja. We forgot to have roads.
Farm fresh yogurt.
Yeah.
And
strawberry flavor,
and it smelled so nice. And it tasted so nice. So imagine my disgust and disappointment
when you tasted
the
real
I was
strawberry.
Like, what is this?
What is this?
So strawberries
this
are
is
cancelled.
Okay.
So give me
cancelled. Mint.
I like mint. Yeah.
You like mint. Okay, so
no,
usually
mint tastes like toothpaste. No.
Oh my goodness! What are you saying, Jasmine?
No mint. It's too bougie, man. It's too elite. Do you have black currants?
Yes, there is.
Black currants is
Ribena. Okay, it is. Okay. So usually this is something that we do to tickle the fancy of people who come on the podcast. Okay, so blackcurrant, you're a sugar person, obviously.
Honey, actually.
Yeah.
I'm old now, so.
You do? Okay, fine. So, you know, when you say sugar, people try to say, oh, we want our life to be as tasteful as sugar. So that's, I don't know.
That's the fun in that.
What's the fun in it? That's what I say to.
You gotta be in the trenches, man.
Oh my God.
No, you have to taste the bitter parts to enjoy the sweet part. And your life can, like, you did not write your life story. You know what I'm saying? So you can't expect life to be sweet like sugar. And sugar is actually bad for you.
For your
stop taking sugar,
too.
Drink honey.
Yes, so now we know that she's now in that healthy living style.
Yes,
so
please.
That's the personality test today. We got to understand that she is a healthy living person.
Yeah, but blackcurrant tea.
Yeah, it's
or like hibiscus tea.
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically
natural.
Just hot zobo.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
With
so
honey.
Oh, so we're bringing that. Don't worry, because she's a Ribena person. She's getting a pack of Ribena today. That's
lie. They didn't give me anything. Scam. They didn't give me anything.
Okay, yeah. So let's get back into the business
All
of
right.
The conversation today. We've spoken about law, which I know that you tried to clear a bit of the misconception that I have, because I used to think in the light of my deen, what I practice, the alignment between the law and the practice, but now I've got a bit of better scope of what it is to practice law. That is not always truth. You need evidence. That's the most important thing. So let's get into the business of politics.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Let's go.
So politics, as a young woman, politics in Nigeria is a tricky game. You've got she's a female, she's supposed to be in the kitchen, she's not supposed to be in the forefront and all of that. And we need women to be on the table of decision making to change the narrative that women can be doctors and you'll still thrive as family person. Women can be politicians and give their quota to developing the country, the nation, or where they're from and stuff. What do you think about women in politics in this generation of ours? Because I knew there is a 35% affirmation and all of that, and there is the back and forth as a young woman.
Honestly, the thing about politics, whether you are a young woman or you're an old woman or like older woman, the misogyny is so casual.
It is.
I'm currently supporting a candidate in Adamawa State. And it will shock you the depths of the misogyny. I don't really want to talk about that, because it's in court, but like I will tell you that the misogyny is so casual that even after all these years of being in politics, sometimes it still shocks me.
Wow.
Because it comes from people you don't even expect it from. So for example, if you want to run, sometimes you'll do all the right things and then they will tell you, you know what, because you tick all the boxes, you would be a fantastic man in office, but you're a woman, sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Or can we, I have a friend that's 2015. She won her elections. She won her primaries. She's from a northern state. She won her primaries.
One election.
She won her elections, and then the governor of the state took her ticket and gave it to her husband. Her husband ended up coming to the National Assembly and serving her term. Her husband. It got to a point where, like, we need to talk to somebody man to man. Yeah, I know. It happens. I hope one day she will tell her story, because I feel like when you're on the outside, you're a bit idealistic. People are idealistic, and they feel like, oh, what are all these women doing? Come on, it's a gang up.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Halima. It's a gang up, and it's like there's constantly boundaries in your way.
Oh my goodness.
No matter how privileged you are, there will always be someone who will remind you that you are not supposed to be in that space. So apart from all the normal shenanigans of Nigerian politics, we have the added burden of dodging all those bombs they throw at us, because you're not meant to be there. Now, when they accept that you're meant to be there, they are blind to your gender.
Oh wow.
So this blindness to gender is a double-edged sword. It works in the sense that you're allowed to do your job in peace, Kingani, and you are not being judged because of what genitals you were born with. But it can be problematic when, for example, you're pregnant, or you are going to have a baby. So, like, if you have a baby and it's campaign season, and let's say maybe you are director of logistics, they will replace you like this. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you chose to have children, so it comes like at a cost. And this is a wider conversation we need to have, because being a woman, natural woman, it comes at a cost for your career.
Wow.
It does. If you decide to have children at certain points, some of my colleagues literally have to time when they have children. Kids. Yes. So, okay, we just want the election. Okay, we have 4 years in office. Oh my God, I have to have 2 kids in 4 years. So that by the time we're ready for a campaign and we're ready for
the baby is winged.
At least the baby is winged, I can go to the campaign.
Oh my God.
And this is one of the things that makes me respect one of my mentors, Hadiza Bala Usman. I remember when she was running in 2007. She just had a son. She just had her first son. And she was backing him. They were calling her Megoyo in Kazina. Yeah, she was backing him. In fact, it was so popular. We said, okay, I'm going to snap picture with my son on my back, and her posters and everything, because I cannot change who I am to fit into it. You're going to have to make exceptions for me. And I was lucky, honestly. I was very lucky, because the person that mentored me and held my hand is Nasir El-Rufai, Governor Nasir El-Rufai. And for him, it's like, you're talented. I don't care what gender you are.
Yeah.
You're good enough, so get in the field, get in the trenches, do the work.
Wow.
And if anybody wants to do nonsense with you, I'm here. I'm gonna stand.
Yeah.
So like, I was young, and he put me on a platform, put me on an opportunity. I was serving on a convention committee. I was 27, Nico 26.
Wow.
So Erin, unless you are lucky to have a powerful man stand behind you, and
it won't be an easy task.
So what they do is, if there's a powerful man that's standing behind you, when they see you, they see his power. Yeah. But the problem now is, what happens when you have differences with that powerful man? You understand? So your male colleagues, sometimes they will have differences with the powerful man, who is like your godfather. But you want to be your own woman, Sometimes you don't want to be in somebody's shadow.
No.
Sometimes you feel like, I've grown up. Mimana Isa. And after a while, you become a leader in your own right.
Absolutely.
You understand? But why should your respect be dependent on the respect
someone?
So I have a friend also, her Oga just decided to decamp, leave the ruling party, and people kept insulting her.
That she didn't leave with the
She
man.
left with him. And then when he came back, he dragged her back. He's back in his what do you call it now? In his position. But she's people are calling her all sorts of names.
Oh my God.
Essentially, the anger is, how dare you? The bottom line of the misogyny is, how dare you? if you want to go into politics, honestly, make sure you have mentors that stand by you. And make sure that you are very, very observant. So I don't want you to become a yes woman and say, Oga, okay, she can but I want you to have a mind of your own, but like you have to have like that balance.
Yeah.
Because one little slip, and you know, even in media and everything we see with women, we're held to a higher standard. Generally, your mistakes are unforgivable.
They are.
You know, but men, you know, they get
away.
They get away with a lot, but you are constantly on a higher pedestal.
Absolutely. And
you have to work twice as hard to be seen. True. And you know, like for us in northern Nigeria, I tell you one story. During 2019, I was campaigning in Kaduna. I got carried away. I'm campaigning. So I was in the middle of a car. I was out of the roof of the car with my shirts and my trouser and my campaign cap, and I was removing the cap and I was waving it around and I was campaigning, and it was in my hood. I grew up in Kabbalah Costain.
Oh wow.
So it was in Costain. These are my people, these are people I grew up with. So you know, of course the energy is charged and everything. And I'll never forget, people took pictures and sent to my late dad, and they said, you know, she's a disgrace to the family. My family back home is well known for, we're originally from Adamawa State, so you know, we're well known for being scholars and you know, professors and stuff like that. And here it is their daughter jumping on a truck in the middle of Costain.
Yes,
campaigning. Like, how can you allow her
to do
behave like this? This is an embarrassment to the family. And you know, he said, well, you know, if she was a son, you'd be proud of her.
True.
And I was,
that's the perfect reply.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, you know, if she was a son, so he was like, you know, next time you want to go out, I'm going to come with you. If you are going to go, I'm going to come with you.
Wow.
And I'm so happy that, you know, because I love people, and campaigning allows me to meet my people, to connect with my people, especially women, because that's my constituency.
Wow.
You know, so there's already that conception that you are a useless person, you are somebody's girlfriend, you are Aaron's girl.
Yes,
you are
a prostitute.
You are a prostitute.
Oh my God.
So I used to think, if I didn't remarry, they will be looking at me like Aaron's girl. But then I thought about it. Some people, they are still married, they still sleep around.
So smart.
Yeah, so like, I don't care. You can say what you like about me. You, if you want to be successful as a woman in any field, you have to liberate yourself from the fear of what people say. Be cool. Just throw it away. Face your life. If you are constantly thinking about what people will say, you will not get anywhere.
Nowhere.
And you can never please people.
Absolutely.
But then I continued. And people don't realize how important it is. If you show up, they remember you.
They remember you. Yeah.
You
leave us footprints.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you cannot say you are doing politics but you don't want to be seen. No. And then people are like, oh my God, who's gonna marry her now? Hey, she's a divorcee. They are seeing her around a governor.
Yeah.
They are seeing her with that governor. Because I was serving in different committees.
Wow.
And because I'm a lawyer, a lot of those committees I'll be a secretary. From the chairman, it's next to me. And of course, you make sure that you make the most of that opportunity. You make sure that you do well, so that the person coming after you will get that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Before they will say, I can't even that Zahra, that's how she came and messed up. So I'm very conscious, like whatever I'm doing, I'm helping somebody that's coming behind me, not even for myself. But if you are constantly thinking about what people say, you will never move forward. So if you want to join politics, or if you're already in politics and you're watching this, you must liberate yourself from what people say.
Same.
And you have to define, why are you even in politics?
What change are you trying to make?
Initially, I was very idealistic. I felt like I could move change, I could do this, I could do that. But I've realized that change is what do you call it?
It's a gradual process.
Yes, it's a gradual process. I came with my communism and my Marxism in my head and disrupts the system. That's one of the reasons why I've stopped attending all these women conferences. But that's the story for another day. I just realized we talk a lot and then we don't really do much.
True.
Because the work is a lot.
It's a lot. And it's something that you need to create milestones, smaller milestones to achieve.
So recently, I spoke about this at the BBC. Right? Recently we did constitutional amendments and it's directly under my office. Senior advisor as to gender to the Senate president. So we had like 6 gender bills. helping women. And the one that was most important to me was the one that was going to make it compulsory for political parties to have at least 35%
of women
of political positions
for women,
ESCO positions as women. So for me, it was very important because I understood how party administration works. So if I had just come from somewhere speaking my English, Kinga, I wouldn't even understand.
You wouldn't understand.
Because what that does is, I want to talk about this especially because if you open up the space for political participation, ESCO, it's not only woman leader they will give us. In fact, some states you can even get chairman. Like my states, we had a female chairman, Senator Binta Masitaba, party chairman. People move from party chairman to become members, to become senators, to become governors, to become vice presidents. If you open up that space, naturally women will emerge.
Definitely.
And quite very, very capable women
that can take on the roles.
Exactly, and they can protect us. They can protect other women when there's that gang up, because they would have reached a level of influence and power also by holding the party machinery.
Yeah.
But if you are limiting us to woman leader, that's one position in the National Working Committee.
Wow.
Out of maybe, I think it's 28 positions, we only have one that we are sure of, apart from the zonal positions, that zonal woman leader again. But if you open it up, I know somebody like Hadiza Bala Usman, can you tell us come and do woman leader?
No.
You understand? You can make her party chairman. Why not?
Because she's capable.
She is, exactly. Why not? So people were concentrating, all these NGOs, and I'm still holding that grudge, you know. People were concentrating on, let's increase more seats. Let's give women 111 additional seats. Oh. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Where's the money? You're already saying the country is broke.
And then you want to add more burden.
Who's going to pay for that? And then why is the qualification for that seat my genitals? Because I have a uterus, women can be dumb. Women can be impossibly criminal. You understand? Why is the only criteria that, oh, I'm just a woman?
A female.
No, it has to be. But if you open up the space, people who should be there, they will emerge. As it is now, we have 108 senators, only 6 are women. And we have 360 members of the House of Representatives, only 14 are women.
Wow.
Please, how can they hear our voices? Even if you are screaming at the top of your lungs, nobody will hear you and nobody will take you serious.
Absolutely.
You know? So you have to play the long game. You have to work twice as hard, and you have to forget what people will say. If they call you Rons girl, now them sabi. No be person born Rons girl.
Na person.
Na
person.
You know, even if you are a Rons girl, maybe you are bringing value to the table. That what you do with your personal life has nothing to do with
the job that you're supposed to discharge.
And there's always this double standard. Remember when there was a tape of a senator? I don't want to call names.
Yeah.
And he was saying, it's my personal life. Imagine if he was like Senator Aisha Al-Hassan or somebody. God. That's her children's life, her grandchildren. So
everything.
If there's not enough of us, how can we break the stereotype? How can people look at us and say, okay, there's enough of them now, I understand their struggle. You know?
True.
So don't say politics is only for dirty people.
It's not.
It's not.
We all need to be involved.
Honestly. Because
change the narrative.
Again, nobody's going to
save us.
Nobody's going
to I see. Yeah. You've spoken a lot, the daring aspect of your life, because a lot of times I want people to understand that this is where you're coming from. And for me, I knew I've learned a lot of lesson. Maybe there is a message you want to push to the young people out there quickly before we call it a wrap.
Life is in stages, man. Life is in stages, and nobody's coming to save you.
Yeah, I think that's the phrase for today. Nobody's going to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. Yeah,
I blame Disney. Because
growing
up we were watching and the
prince is coming.
No, my dear, there's no prince.
No prince.
There's no prince. There's no Prince Charming that's coming
Prince
to save you.
And you're not a Cinderella, please.
Honestly, there's no substitute for hard work. And I know you look at people and you think, oh, they've made it, they have this and they have that. I don't think money should be a measure of success. I can say such nonsense because I'm okay. And you can make money, but it shouldn't come at the price of your conscience.
Absolutely.
Like, you should be known for your principles. That is why the country is the way it is now.
Absolutely.
Everybody just does what they like. But you should remember that life is in stages. If you are jumping Abuja bus today, tomorrow you could be driving a Benz. And honestly, there's a reason why you go through certain stages in life, because they prepare you for certain things. I give you an example. If you jump bus, then you have your car. It's easier for you to relate with people who jump bus.
True.
You can never be arrogant.
Yeah.
Because you've been there.
You've been there.
You know. And you will know the value of a human being.
Absolutely.
And there is nothing more important than
the value.
recognizing somebody's humanity.
True.
You understand? Even all these issues we're having with women is because fundamentally society refuses to recognize us as human beings.
True.
We are only seen as wives or mothers, and if you are none of that, you are deemed that you're not valuable.
You're not valuable.
Exactly.
It's so sad.
So there are things that stages in life happen so you can be prepared for, the life that you're supposed to live, and you have to take it easy. All this Yahoo people are doing, all this money you shouldn't sell
quick
your soul.
Money.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Even if you get the quick money to finish,
it will finish because you don't know the value. Yeah.
Yes, easy come, easy go. So build yourself, go to school. Please go to school. I've been hearing people say, oh, because of ASU strike, I'm not going back to school in Kenya. Please go to school. Go to school.
It's important.
It's very important. Because school is it's not just your certificate. It's also social skills.
Yes, it is.
It's also
like your security too.
Yes. Always have certificates, no matter what. Even if you are in politics, you know that there are things they cannot even appoint you for some things if you don't have that certificate. They'll say, I better take care of you see, so you lose the slot to someone else. So go to school, be educated, learn about things. You are lucky you grow up in an age where information is at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Learn about things. Not every time TikTok and who is insulting who and who dated who. No. You can learn so much and you can build capacity for yourself that you can bring value to
other people and yourself
and
too.
Yourself, and you can even build yourself, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Many thanks. And this is where we draw the curtain on Connect the Dot this week. Definitely we are bringing Sister Zahra back because there's a lot to talk about, and I believe that there is something that we should be doing in collaboration to be able to change the whole mindset and narrative in northern Nigeria, especially with young women. It's not all about marrying rich man or being from a rich family. Sometimes there is this pride you get in when you make your own money and all of that, and you be able to speak eloquently and let people know I went through all of this, just like Sister Zahra said to us, the stages, jumping buses, campaigning in the middle of Costain and all of that. It's a lot of things. Many thanks. See you again next week and Connect the Dot with us again. Ding ding.